Right, Harold Park, the Ben Hur in about 2.5 minutes. Race number 5, runners are heading around to the start. And the favourite over the page is Smooth Satin. He was $3.50. Last call, he's out to $3.90. Joe Fess is now $4.50. Safe and Sound at $5.50. And Kim's Girl at $5.40. So the fave is number 12, Smooth Satin. Right, I think we're about to head to Harold Park. And folks, I think we've been somewhat privileged tonight, if I can use that word. Sam Nadai doesn't often get confused. He's normally fairly forthright. But tonight he's having a devil of a time trying to come up with a top pick in the Ben Hur, and it's that sort of race, Sam.
Yeah, Dean, and I'll tell you why. There's been about 5 Grand Circuit races so far this season, and I haven't picked the winner. And Courage Under Fire won 2 of them and was favourite both times. I went for Shaker, so that's why I'm confused. I think I'll stick to the bread and butter races, but I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to try and keep trying. I suppose everyone's got their own pick anyway. I've ended up going for number 10, Joe Fess, for 2 reasons. I think he'll love 2900 and he'll step from the stand start. I've put him ahead of Smooth Satin, who impressed me greatly last week, but he's a query on both those counts for mine. They are first and second favourites in the bookies ring, but Smooth Satin has the call just over Joe Fess. And look, there's a heap of roughies here and genuine chances. Number 1, Trip to Heaven. Dennis Wilson seems to think this horse won't step away from the stand, and I mean, you have to listen to guys like Dennis Wilson, don't you? But if he does step, he's right in this race. Trois Frere, he's run at Albion Park. I know it was an easier race, but it was just fabulous last week behind DB Bopper. Janelle Sun's form's not totally hopeless. Left Right Out's absolutely flying. I'm not sure there's too many horses in the country going better than Left Right Out. And then we get to Joe Fess, Parawonga, Smooth Satin, Safe and Sound, Kim's Girl. You can see why I think it's a lottery, but for the sake of having to provide some tips, I went 10, 12, 1 and 9. Look, the back markers, the co-back markers, Safe and Sound and Kim's Girl, they have the class edge. Between them, they have won more than, the pair of them have won more than $1.1 million in prize money. They're both fabulous. They've both won Grand Circuit races. Just field of 14 around this half-mile track back there. They're going to have to do everything right, aren't they? But they've got their fair share of supporters. Smooth Satin will run the favourite marginally ahead of Joe Fess. And that was reflected also in the bookies ring, as I mentioned. The other ones under double figures with bookmakers, there was only 2 others, and they're the 2 bottom ones, Safe and Sound and Kim's Girl. The 4 that I mentioned there, 10, 12, 13 and 14. The ones drawn worst, I guess, are the ones that are favoured by punters on track. Just have a look at these tote updates. $15 for number 1, Trip to Heaven. You can get marginally better than that. It's interesting to note that earlier in the week, Trip to Heaven was backed on the fixed odds on the New South Wales tote from $17 into $13. You could get that comfortably tonight with bookmakers and sitting up there at $15 right now. Franco Conquest is a roughie, $59. Smooth Dixie is in triple figures with bookmakers and getting close to that on the tote. Trois Frere, $24 is a comparable quote. Decoy, 100 to 1 shot on the tote. Janelle Sun, $29 on the tote, and that's comparable to what bookies are prepared to give you as runners slowly take shape for the start, this standing start in the Ben Hur. Steve Turnbull just making some adjustments to Smooth Satin as we speak. Cam's Place Alec is 100 to 1 shot, as is Bar On Boy. Left Right Out just into the double figures with bookies, and that's the same as on the tote as the pool creeps up to $118,000 now. Not quite to the Miracle Mile standards, but no doubt inflated on what we'd normally get for race 5 at Harold Park, which I guess you'd expect. Parawonga, number 11, not showing on my screen right now. There it is, $19. Smooth Satin, $4.50. And you saw Safe and Sound and Kim's Girl. 10, 12, 1 and 9 are the numbers. They'll line up pretty quickly and jump, so I better head up to Kevin Thompson, and I reckon he's standing by for one of his spectacular race calls.
For the Ben Hur, front line, Trip to Heaven coming in, John L. Stun, Cam's Place Alec. Okay, Nadia, they're moving in fairly well for a start here. On the front line, just clearing the 10-metre strand for Smooth Satin. Smooth Satin will be on the 10 metres on his lonesome. 15 metres Safe and Sound and Kim's Girl. The front line still circling around here. 420 for Joe Fess is the favourite from Smooth Satin, $4.50. Safe and Sound at $5 and Kim's Girl $5. 29.65 metres. So down to the judge, we've got 3 laps. Now they're making some sort of line of it now. Shaker Maker took the race out last year. Bougainvillea the previous year, and Happy Asset before that, in the 3 standing start events of the Ben Hur. Before that it was a mobile won by Tibet, Ilvacolo and Shandon. They're almost set. And the strand drawn across at the 10 metres for Smooth Satin. Certainly taking their time getting ready there, but I think they're almost right. They've got all these horses on the front to clear the 10 metre strand, 11 of them. Now they look set. Ready to run now. Still not one ready. Cam's Place Alec out wide and straightening up John L. Sun. Trip to Heaven straightening up with Franco Conquest, so should get a start shortly. Now they look set. They're off. Now Smooth Satin stepped away only fairly from the 10 metres. Joe Fess is slow out here. And also Left Right Out has got out slowly as well. So a few of the fancied runners out the back losing ground. And John L. Sun brilliantly away. Trois Frères broken going into the first turn. He's galloping, falling back through the field. Parawonga had to dodge him. A few of these others had to go around him. Trip to Heaven, who was slow out's also copping some bother. And as they swing into the straight, they string right out. Left Right Out's going to be a long last. And as they come down the straight, John L. Sun from Franco Conquest and Baron Boy got away fast. Here comes Smooth Satin out early. Shaker Maker was going to go, rather Safe and Sound was going to go, but Smooth Satin took off in front of him, and Cam's Place Alec likewise has gone up quickly. So a few moves early, and Steve Turnbull has shot around the outside on Smooth Satin, and he's going to be in front in the Ben Hur. And as they race to the back, it's Smooth Satin taking over from John L. Sun and Franco Conquest. Ahead away third on the outside now. Cam's Place Alec left without cover. Baron Boy's got a trail now round Decoy, linked to Parawonga on the outside of Smooth Dixie. Parawonga's going to go now, and then comes Decoy getting back on the inside, trailed by Smooth Dixie, and Joe Fest taking off from the back as well. Kim's Girl in the centre, and then Safe and Sound. Over on the inside of it is Trip to Heaven. Left Right Out's caught them up, and so is Trois Frères after an early break. Coming down the side now, a little over 2 to go, and it's Smooth Satin the leader. Around them Joe Fest now. After an early break, he didn't begin well from the stand, but he's rushed up quickly now to sit outside the leader. Third is John L. Sun. Parawonga is now 1-1, trailed by Cam's Place Alec. Franco Conquest on the inside. 4 back is Decoy. 4 back on the outside is Baron Boy. And then on the inside next, Smooth Dixie. Kim's Girl is 5 back on the outside. Well back on the pegs is Trip to Heaven. Safe and Sound is third last from Left Right Out, and last of all is Trois Frères. Out of the straight, they run into the back short of 2 rounds to go, and the big field heads into the back of the 1400 metres, and it's the Miracle Mile winner, Smooth Satin on top. He leads out by 3/4. Joe Fess on his outside. Leaders back, John L. Sun. 1-1 Parawonga. A length to Franco Conquest. He's on the inside, 3 back. Around him is Cam's Place Alec. Then Decoy on the inside of Baron Boy. Well back, Smooth Dixie on the inside of Kim's Girl. Third last, Safe and Sound. Second last on the inside, Trip to Heaven, and the last pair Left Right Out, and the Queenslander Trois Frères whips them in. 30.5 for the first quarter of the last mile. Smooth Satin in front by a half length. On the outside, Joe Fess. Parawonga 1-1 around John L. Sun. A length away, Franco Conquest. Still no moves from the back here. Cam's Place Alec follows the 1-1. On the inside, 4 back the pegs is Decoy. 4 back the outside, Baron Boy. Safe and Sound easing out to go. Kim's Girl is in the centre. He got around Kim's Girl. Justice on Safe and Sound. Kim's Girl's going to try and track it up. And then Smooth Dixie Left Right Out in the centre. Second last is Trip to Heaven, and Trois Frères last. 29.8 the second quarter. The half in 60.3. Smooth Satin into the back. He's a half length in front of Joe Fest, the outside, sticking with him. A length away, third, John L. Sun and Parawonga. 3 wide is Safe and Sound. Kim's Girl getting a Carter home on its back. Franco Conquest the inside. Dropping out Cam's Place Alec, and then Decoy. 400 left to run out of the back at 28.8 quarter. Smooth Satin the leader. The pace has been right on here. Joe Joe Fess a half length away. Third, John L's Son, Parawonga. Safe and sound, 3 wide, and Kim's Girl still a fair way off them. Smooth Satin and Joe Fess, they're together on the turn. 2 in front of Parawonga, John L's Son and Safe and Sound. Smooth Satin, 3/4, Joe Fess trying to pick him up, but he's giving plenty. Smooth Satin, he's got away from Joe Fess, Parawonga and late Bar On Boy, but Smooth Satin, the Miracle Mile winner's going to take out the big double. Smooth Satin wins a half length. Bar On Boy, I reckon, second. Parawonga maybe third from Safe and Sound and Joe Fess. They got very tired down to the line. Next was Decoy. Behind them, Kim's Girl never got into it. Well back then was John L's Son, and then came Cam's Place, Alec Trois Frere, Franco Conquest. A long way back was Smooth Dixie, Trip to Heaven, and Left Right Out was last.
On the back of the leader, Willie the Kid. Direct Admiral, close enough if good enough, just. Further back, Validated. Talladega's just, you know, it's almost a 20-to-1 chance from where it is. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Maserati fella next, then Lord Wesley, and Dairyman back at the tail of the field by the palms at the 500.
There we are, Smooth Satin well clear over Joe Fess. Have a look at Bar On Boy deep out on the track, charging home. And he's in a photo for second. There's quite a few of them there, including Joe Fess, who was battling on. But right now, we're about to join Sam Natai at Harold Park.
And with an emotional Jenny Turnbull, I thought you'd get used to this. You're crying.
It's just mad. How could you get used to it? Those other horses are champions. They're as good as we are, like, you know.
2,900 metres.
Oh,
He came from behind in the Miracle Mile and just blew them away. And tonight he's done it the complete opposite. He's just a full racehorse.
He's just, you wouldn't think it. He just is magnificent. He just loves it.
We've got to go to Geelong. 12, 8, 11, I think the placings are here. Here's Geelong.
720 Knockabout Charm. Coming in pretty well now.
In quite a number of the feature races at Harold Park, including the Chariots earlier this year with Seals to Sam. He was beaten a lip in last year's Miracle Mile with At It Again. And he deserves to win a big one there at Harold Park, but he's been denied again this time by a very good horse in Smooth Satin. Sam's chasing up Laurie Payton, one of the owners of Smooth Satin. In fact, he's got him right now, Sam.
Laurie and Gwen, well, like I said to Jenny, it just keeps getting better.
Yeah, it certainly does, Sam. You know, it's just a dream come true. No doubt about that.
Now, listen, is it true? I'm going to have to put the hard one on you here. Is it true? Did Brian Hancock try and talk you out of running this horse here tonight?
He told us not to.
He did try and talk you out of it?
Yeah.
Standing start?
He didn't try and talk us, but he said I wouldn't if I were you.
And you listen to Steve, good boy.
I listen to myself.
Oh, really? All right, wait.
Somebody has to manage this horse, you know.
You're the manager?
Yeah.
I'm the manager.
Well, where's he go to next then?
He goes for a little let up, yeah. Not for a spell, but he'll have a let down a bit. Yeah.
Will there be any interstate travelling before the Inter-Dominion?
Perhaps.
Possibly.
All right, go and enjoy the moment. Best of luck.
Thanks, Sam.
There we go, Dino.
Good on you, Sam. They're moving up at Redcliffe.
They're becoming